Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Sahaj Tales podcast. This is episode 12 with Sakshi Sasane.
Hi Sahaj and
How are you,
hi
Sakshi?
everybody. Hello.
Yeah. How are you doing, Sakshi?
I'm doing amazing. It's quite hot in India. So, but like,
Okay,
yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. So, where are you based currently?
I am based in Mumbai, the city of dreams.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I run a marketing company and specifically into PR. So I have, apart from that, my company is like 9 months old, but I have 6 years experience in the field, and I've worked with the unicorns in India. I've worked with the best brands. I've worked as a global brand managers. I've worked with brands who even curated collections for our QE2, and I have wide experience in luxury and business. So yeah, so after all of this years, I started my own firm, and we are doing quite well. We actually have 100 CCR. So yeah, so this is what I do.
Okay.
Apart from that, I'm
So,
a human being.
okay. So tell me about like what has the journey been like in the formation of a company? Like your company, what's the company's name, first of all?
Oh, it's called as ESTD India. It means a story to tell. We believe that every brand has a story, and brands are persons. So brands are people. So every person on this earth has a story, right? So that's how we resonate, and we treat all our clients who are brands as a person, as an individual. So we just give them a stage to showcase their individuality and their stories. So our motto is tell us your stories and we will use them to solve your problems. So
Yeah,
that's
and
what my
how has
brand
the
is.
process of formation of a company been for you? Like, what has it been like?
Yeah, so I was just I actually wanted to start my own brand, and I did not know what to do. So I knew what exactly brand I wanted to start, like last year when I just randomly quit my job, and I started off as a freelancer then. Like I worked with Nestle, I worked with Vella, I worked with like different companies as a freelancer before starting my own company. I so one thing that helped me boosting my confidence in starting my company was network. I believe that having good network is very important, and your circle, which pushes you to do good things. So I just randomly one day I was like, okay, let me start with my PR firm because I'm really good at PR. I really have that network who can who can cater to the audience which the brands would love to. And let me just pick a random niche which is luxury, which I'm really good at. And I just started it, and I got my first client like right before, one day after I started my own company, because I already had a website as a freelancer. And I kind of told them like, okay, let's work with my company instead of just me individually. Then I started building off my team, and I have work with international clients also who are coming to India. So but that was on the individual basis, who did not really transition into my company. But yeah, so that's how I started. The struggles were, so I started with like hardly 10,000 rupees, and then I reached out to the journalists, and they were very fond of the company and what I'm trying to build, and even to generate company ethos. Like we have certain rules in my company where the employees are protected and secured, like we also like giving offs on Mondays, and like that, which is not very usual in India, and even the paycheck is really new for, like, very nice for the employees who are working in our company compared to even the most established companies. So like when I was starting out, it was very nice, and it was a bit of struggle, of course, because you need to generate your own matrices, you need to generate your own platform where people would relate to you and would actually come in as a client, and especially if we're catering to luxury brands. So but because I had this experience, I had expertise, I had a team who has the expertise in this field, so it made it much more easier.
Okay. Before I talk to you about your company, I want to ask you one specific question. In
Yeah.
life, what are your three core values that you, or three non-negotiables, that you believe in?
Yeah, so one is have a great circle, amazing circle. I mean, second, if you are trying to fit in into any onto any table, if you feel like you're not appreciated on any table, go out and try to build your own. And even if you're alone, does not matter, because eventually when you are succeeding, people are going to come and sit on your table because they'll know what you're bringing on to it. So you don't need to try to convince others what you are actually building. You need not have to keep on telling or trying to like constantly telling people that okay, this is something that I stand by. Oh, I am this, I am that. You need not have to do that. People are going to know you basis on how you're growing. And if you are growing, people will look onto you. People will see that you are doing this, so okay, let me see and support her. And that there would be a lot of people who would try to pull you down, and all. It does not really matter, because they are the ones who are pulling themselves down. That's what I believe. And so you have just have to keep going. Other non-negotiable is something that do not mix family and business. That is something that I really believe in, because and even friends and business, I have been there, done that. Not to do that, because if you're doing your business, you very well know how to mind your own business. And if there are expectations of somebody that you're close to are lying on doing the business, you don't have to I mean, then you will have to cater to two things at one time. Is something that I don't think so that you can really well do if you really are trying to do your own thing. And third negotiable is, if suppose, so when I started out, I had 1 year time, like back in June 22, I remember 22nd June 2022, I remember the date. I was just sitting and discussing it with my family that okay, I want to start my business, and I just want to quit my job, because jobs are like very sustainable, especially in India, so it becomes a factor when, if you come from a middle class family where where your everyday bread and butter is something that comes from your job income or your other expenses. Because I'm like always been a materialistic girl, and always been somebody who has been very high maintenance, let's say that. So I need to have certain amount of income that has to come in to cater to my like maintenance needs. So I was like, okay, let me just take a leap and start my own business, because I don't want to be in that role where somebody is just constantly telling me what to do and what not to do, when I can do better. So I just spoke to my family and I told them like, okay, let's look, I just want to do this. I want to be on the entrepreneur side, and I think I can do it very well. So yeah, so then they told me, okay, I give you 1 year. If you are not doing it in 1 year, you have to go back to your job. So, and like just like any other family, because they also believe that if you are not sustaining yourself, then just go back. So I was like, okay, I know I have confidence in what I'm trying to build. At that time, I did not know what I was doing, honestly, because I was building another brand, and which was not uh this business, like ASTT India. ASTT came out of my skills, like when I tried to nurture and see like what I can do. And yeah, so then it took me approximately 6 7 years to find out what exactly what I wanted to do in terms of business, and how would my bread and butter, or how would my expertise lie. So there are two things: one is passion and second is expertise. One, your passion is going to give you peace, no matter, even if it is making like good profits or loss, it is going to give you mental peace. Second is your expertise, where which is actually your bread and butter, where you are actually like giving out your skills to gain income, or anything that is of like value that would sustain your life. So I thought like, maybe let me go to my skills, let me see what I can bring to the table. And I was like so shocked before, because the kind of network that I carry in India is like so vast, like everybody is just one call away from for me. So I did not even know I had that network, honestly. So I was like, okay, let me leverage that network. So if so the third negotiable is I did not want to just slip off the topic, but the third negotiable would be like if somebody is telling you you can't do this, you just well go ahead and do it and see it for yourself, you can do it or not. Don't rely on other people to tell you what to do and what not to do. So even if it is your family, even if it is your friends, you don't have to care about that. Honestly, you just have to go for it. If you believe that you can do it, you should do it. There's no other way around. Otherwise, if you go ahead and do for somebody else what they are trying to project onto you, I feel, and if you fail onto it, you don't have anybody else to blame. Honestly, you can't even blame them for telling you what to do, right? Because they're your family, they're friends, right? So that is, these are the three things that I believe in.
Yeah. Okay. So and also I wanted to ask you something. The before earlier, like we were talking about things on social media about luxury brands. You mentioned that you wanted to talk about luxury brands. So moving on to that topic, I wanted to ask you, what's your definition of luxury?
Oh, wow. I like answering this question. My definition of luxury is comfort. That would be too vague, but something you don't have to think, like let's say I'm going on a trip. I have to spend, X amount of money. And I'm thinking about that, how am I gonna make that money? How I'm gonna do that? I don't want to think about that. I think luxury to me is catering to my own materialistic thoughts without having to think about money, or without having to think of stressing myself mentally about it. Because there's this one thing, if I am on this earth, I'm as a human being, right? I am not somebody who is constantly in a rat race where I just have to just run behind that cheese and keep running, running, running. And for what? One day I'm going to you know take off from this earth anyways. So I need to create that space for me where I don't have to constantly um, tell myself ki, okay, I'm short of money, I'm short of this, I'm short of that, and miss out on the opportunities that would even actually make me more money. For example, if I am not among, so if let me tell you one thing. I am going to one place. I am on a luxury vacation, and I am spending, let's say, like 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees a night on that one place just to stay, and I'm staying there for, let's say, a 1 2 weeks. Okay, so that is not something that a proper middle class person would want to spend on, right? Because on the hospitality of it, they would definitely spend on the entire trip the amount of money that I'm just spending on the hotel, right? But for me, it's an investment. Like if I am staying at that hotel, if I'm going to that restaurant, which is like actually visited by the best people, visited by the entrepreneurs, visited by the people in my mindset, I would learn from them. And definitely people on top collaborate, they never take each other down. So this is something that I have seen and experienced. So my circle is something we all collaborate with each other. So whenever I'm in any room, let's say a restaurant, a very high expensive restaurant, or like a hotel, so I meet anybody, and you meet a lot of people there. I mean, there's no chance that you will just go there and you will just stay silent, right? You will meet a lot of people there. You'll exchange smiles, you exchange words, you exchange what you're doing, what you're not doing. You connect with each other on LinkedIn. You connect with each other on any platform that you're on. You even like sometimes if you're like too good of a conversator, then you can also exchange WhatsApp and see what you can do in your business, right? So you get an opportunity to make more money than you're spending on that particular place. So that is something, is for me, for luxury. It is, spend without having to think about it, honestly, because if you are not spending, you're not going to make more. And
Yeah.
some people think like luxury is just to go on vacations and to just live the best life. But what people don't see is why are people investing in that? Why? Like luxury is also an investment. It's not just to go to a beach and just sip the best coconut water, and just because people are going there and the other people are actually looking towards it. So there's this one thing that we have when we deal with luxury brands, and I mean a lot of people might have also seen, is when I actually learned luxury brand management, is luxury brands are very desirable. So what makes them desirable? It's the ethos, or it's the identity, or it's the outbringing of that luxury brand. So make take that luxury brand as a person. Okay, so let's say XYZ luxury brand is a person. What is the character sketch of that particular luxury brand? What is the character sketch of that particular person? So, and why would that person become desirable? So let's say the most desirable person in India, how would that person be? How what are its disciplinary factors? What is that person doing? What is that person not doing? Everybody's looking. Let's say for the celebrities, we all see what they are doing, what they're not doing, and that's how media is giving them a lot of attention, because we are giving them a lot of attention, right? So
Yeah.
same goes to luxury. So people look up to you when you're living up to certain standards, and what is making you more money is because people are looking up to you because you are setting some standards, right? So they
Yes.
would
Yes.
want to know what you are exactly doing. So luxury is just a piece of cake for everybody. If you feel like you can sit in any room, let's say a 10 by 10 room, and like live a luxurious life, you can do it. Who is stopping you? So it's all about your mindset and your comfort that you live in, and it's not just a materialistic thing. It's just to show up to the standards and to collaborate. It's like an investment.
Okay. No. So okay, I have this. I wanted to ask you this. There are many luxury brands around the world in general, and you know there are some people around the world who also think that certain luxury brands are mainstream, but they're also unique at the same time because they have that sense of uniqueness, about
Mm.
them. So, what is it that's required to make a luxury brand really stand out to the public? What, in your opinion?
They automatically stand out, honestly, because it's a luxury brand, and the kind of clientele that they carry, so it is totally different from the client that a normal brand has, let's say. So they have to be desirable first of all, and there's a theory that goes in the market that luxury brands are very, arrogant, and I mean that is what it is making them money, because when you tell somebody you can't do this and you can't afford us or something like that, people would be like, okay, let me take it to our ego, and हम तुम्हारा तो पूरा दुकान खरीद लेंगे, in Hindi we say that, like, we will literally purchase your entire shop. Just see what I am, what I'm worth and all of that. So it is kind of the uh, it is the kind of standards, like you can also see on social media. There are a lot of like viral, like people usually flaunt, if they're buying a Birkin, if they're buying a Kelly, if they're buying anything, because from Hermes or from Chanel, they're buying a limited edition bag, or they're buying a Lamborghini, or they're buying anything that is luxury. They would put it on social media, right? So it's luxury brands automatically create their own clientele. You don't even have to do marketing for it, honestly. You just need to place it in certain way that you are in the right audience, and they are playing word of mouth for you.
Yeah. Okay. So I have. So there's something else I need to talk about. So, uh, do you think fear of missing out, or like FOMO, as they call it, is a common factor, within clientele of luxury brands, or is it something that is just separates the haves and have-nots, as you would
Mhm.
say,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think FOMO is only been created amongst the people who can't afford luxury. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I'm understanding
So
absolutely.
the people, the old money who have money, or the new money who can actually afford luxury, they are the ones who are creating the FOMO. Okay, so if you're not buying this, so you're missing out on a lot of things. I mean, if you're not going to, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're not going to Dubai and living that life, then you're missing out on the best entrepreneurs in the entire world. Or maybe let's say if you are in like if you're not going for a vacation on to Maldives, then what are you even doing? If you're not going to Europe during rainy season, what are you even doing? That is the kind of FOMO that luxury brands create. And it's not the luxury brands, it's the clientele that they are exactly catering to can afford luxury brand, and who are actually been feared of missing out on such things are the people who cannot afford, who will save every penny to buy that particular item. Like you can even see I mean, let's say the common example is Instagram, that people are trying to materializing like they're materializing so many things. Like if you are not staying in a, let's say, very well nice hotel with a private pool or something, so I am on a vacation. I'm on a weekend trip right now, and I am, let's say, flying to a tropical island, or to Hawaii, or to even, let's say, Goa. So I am having this private beach life. I am living my best life there. Everything goes on Instagram. So people are creating FOMO within themselves, and they're like, okay, if I am not going up to the certain standards of living a luxurious life, then people would not become desirable. And and now the thing with brands is, of course, there are mass influencers, but there are also influencers who just cater to luxury brands, who would want luxury brands to sponsor them, who would want to get invited to such events where like fashion weeks or any. So let's say Maze in like Mumbai, they had done this Pilates workshop like a year or two ago, a year ago. So only limited influencers were invited, right? But many people would want to go there. They would find for connections and all. They would do anything for it, because we are living in such a world, such a materialistic world, where people would want that luxury, and they would want the best for them. Because why not? If you are working so hard, if you want certain things in life, if you want to be a person who is like disciplined, who is becoming better every day, who is earning a lot of money, then you would definitely want to buy something that you would like, right? And who is like, if somebody is promoting it. And the thing with luxury brands is something like, it is hardly seen on anybody, on a mass audience as well, right? So that is something good. But the drawback of it is also, like, you can, if a lot of people are actually wearing the same thing, so it kind of becomes very let's say, boring also. But luxury brands keep up to that, and they create amazing. So they are the ones who will just position their products, and the people who are actually buying it would play the word of mouth and create the FOMO amongst the people who are actually desiring luxury brands.
Yeah. So no, I get the sentiment that, like, because we discussed about this earlier a couple of minutes back, that can luxury brands also become mainstream, and you just kind of answered that question there as well. Uh, so, like, moving on to PR, public relations. Okay. Okay, I work in the entertainment industry, and the things you're associated with, like PR and luxury, are closely interlinked with the entertainment industry, especially like in a city like Mumbai, where Bollywood is rampant almost. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's a land of Bollywood. It's like So, what impact do you think it has had culturally in India, in the entertainment industry, or in the in other industries, like fashion, or maybe even things like modeling, photography, videography, things like that. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of impact do you think it has had?
So in terms of luxury or like overall?
Both PR and luxury.
Hmm. PR plays a very vital role in anything, because so PR includes the kind of audience reach, where and even reputation management, because in this industry you know what happens. So even if you're doing something tiniest of things which you think that nobody would notice, one person would notice and make it into something big. So we are the ones who give those like those tiny things attentions, right? The audience, and it becomes big. So there are a lot of PR stunts that happen. There are a lot of let's say events that happen, which creates a lot of buzz. And there are lots of things in PR itself that, if a celebrity is seen with somebody else, like let's say a male and female celebrity are seen together who are single, and if you're just in a cafe setting, even though they're friends, so PR creates this much. They're like, okay, what are they doing? Let me see. What are they talking? Let me see their mobile screens. Let me see this, that. But these are all the negative things of PR. But the positive thing of PR is, like, if there's an XYZ brand which you would want to, like, which a celebrity is endorsing, so we create a funnel for them so that we can use those celebrity in the right ways, in the right mediums, and place it in the funnel in such a way that we can make the most out of it. So which also
Yeah.
requires reputation. So that's it about. So I mean, PR plays a very
Yeah, I
vital
think
role
you
these
went.
days.
I think you popped in and popped out. I think your screen for a moment,
Oh,
and yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're
yeah,
back.
even
Yeah,
same happened here. So I was like,
yeah,
okay, I think it was buffering. But could you
yeah.
hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, awesome. So I was just telling about PR, like, of course, it plays a very vital role. Before it was a bit, let's say PR was there, but like, as because of there are like online mediums like Instagram, social media, there's SEO, there are a lot of things. You can, there's a phrase called, even walls can hear you. Even walls has ears. So it's very true. I mean, PR is something, though we can call them our local aunties. So it
Yeah.
is as equivalent as that.
PR is as equivalent as local aunties, like
Local aunties.
your relatives, like or something like just gossiping about things. That's how you would liken it to.
Continuous gossip. That's what we need.
Yeah.
But positive side of PR is that you can endorse the right things, and you can put it in funnel, and you can make a lot of money for brands. And that's what we do, honestly, because we make a lot of money for our brands, and that is our USP. Because we don't just give visibility and awareness, but we also make them money. We make them revenue, because if they're not making money, we're not making money. That's as simple as that.
Um, okay, so what are your views on like extreme PR campaigns, like the one which happened recently where Poonam Pandey faked her own death, uh,
Oh,
and to spread awareness of of a specific disease, of some kind of cancer or something. It was. So what are your views on extreme PR campaigns? Like how how does the process work? What thought process it people have while doing that, and does it actually really affect people around
of
that
course,
who are
PR is a game of psychology and relatability amongst the audience and the person that we are actually promoting, or the brand that we are actually promoting. But it was awful what Punam Pandey did, honestly. I mean, you should not do that. I mean, before a celebrity, before anything, you are a human being. And of course, you need money, of course. I mean, money is the ultimate source of a lot of things. But uh, I personally felt, I mean, I don't know about other people's opinion, nor that I, want to know, but I personally felt it was awful. You should not fake diseases. You should not fake death, because you should not. I think she had faked some disease for the death, I think. So you should not do that, because there are a lot of people who are actually going through it, and it makes them feel maybe not undervalued, because they might try to victimize themselves more, so I feel like PR should not go on that end. Extreme PR campaigns, of course, like as long as it is not harming anybody mentally, physically, and all of that, it's fine. But what Poonam did, or something like that, should not. There are like some extreme PR campaigns where so I know a lot of people who have done it like for celebrities or their celebrity clients, where they just see them talking with any other celebrity, or they just try to create a buzz. Okay, what are they talking, what is streaming between them, like that. As long as it is fun and playful, it's fine. But if it is not harming anybody, and it is fine. But if it is harming anybody in terms of mentally or physically, if they're disturbing the mental peace, especially mass audiences, I mean, I don't know what Poonam got out of it, honestly. Of course, it created a lot of buzz and all of that. And to hop onto that, I think Rakhi also posted something, uh, like something related to that, and that went super viral. I mean, of course, Rakhi is the queen of PR, everybody knows that. But yeah, so but as long as it is not harming anybody, it is fine. If it is harming anybody's mental peace, and some faking about a disease is very not good, because we live in a humanitarian world also. We are humans before we are celebrities or anything else. That's what I believe. And personally, even I am an entrepreneur, I try to be as human as possible, to my employees, to the people around me, to my friends. If I am dealing with anybody, I try to think of it not in a transactional way, that okay, if I do this I'll get this. Of course, if I want to help somebody, I would help somebody. It shouldn't be the other way around. Like, it never necessarily have to be like, ki, if I am doing this, okay, I want this in return. Not all the time. And doing extreme PR stunts like these are, what if it actually influences a lot of people also, right, in a negative way.
Yeah. So okay, um, I wanted to ask you about this specific it's this specific show which is like really popular amongst Indian audience, like Big Boss. Why do you think you know it is such a huge success in India, and why do you think it cannot replicate that kind of success in other parts of the world?
Hmm.
Like, what's
I
the secret? What do you think is the the formulaic way of making it a success?
I think because Big Boss, it is the audience. Honestly, what makes a celebrity and breaks the celebrity is the audience.
Yeah,
We have a population of people where, like, of course, we have entrepreneurs, but the entrepreneurs I know, they don't. They're not into Big Boss, or they're not into like anything like reality shows, because they are like constantly working. We are working 24/7. We don't have time for Netflix. Also, we hardly watch Netflix sometimes. But the kind of audience that we have after coming back home from a job, from 7, let's say the 7 to 12 o'clock, there's a time where you all sit together in a family and we need to watch something. And because gossip is a part of the main relevancy of Big Boss, where people are gossiping, people are fighting, people are being their natural selves, and there are certain celebrities that people know and they could relate to, like, so, for example, recent Big Boss had Ankita Lokhande, right? So, she is a figure from Pavitra Rishta, and the audience could relate to her before, when she was like the ideal Bahu in Pavitra Rishta, right? So, the kind of audience that India has is very cultural, and it's also very, when you are sitting at a dinner table, and it also comes at a time when you are having food, and you would want to see Big Boss, like, "Ye abhi kya ho raha hai? What is happening now? What is happening now? What is she saying?" And sometimes for relative entertainment also. Like, I don't honestly understand the buzz of Big Boss, and like, people are watching it actually. But the kind of drive, because it's not just one celebrity that is coming. There are 10 different celebrities that are coming with their own PR mandates. Imagine the
Exactly. Yeah.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
So it would obviously go to, and because the TRP would flourish, because we have Salman Khan, we they also invite big celebrities to to promote their own movies or any upcoming things. So it surely creates a lot of buzz amongst the audience, and because we also have young audience who would want to see what is happening in nowadays. And I mean, we are a population of sticking to one thing, and ek bar once you see the trust in something, Big Boss 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I mean, there are lots of seasons in Big Boss, so there is a certain audience who started from Big Boss 1 and they're still watching it because they like Big Boss, they love watching Big Boss. But it's honestly, if you have a lot of time to watch it, definitely. And I think like there are a lot of people who are watching Big Boss. I am certainly amazed by the kind of PR Big Boss gives, for their, for the in-house participants. So
Yeah.
I think it's the
I get it.
people.
Yeah. So okay. Like there's something else. So what do you think about investment in PR firms? Like how does that work? Because you know sometimes I feel like the public relations industry has a lot of variables and a lot of uh, it's not so simple. It's not as straightforward. There are so many determining factors which constitute a PR campaign. So
Mhm.
how how do you decide when you're making a PR campaign for any specific product or service or any person for that matter? How do
Mhm.
you decide like how much to invest into it?
Hmm.
Either monetarily or like even emotionally or like kind of stuff.
Oh, so it depends on the client's budget, first of all. What is this client's budget? And it also depends on what are the inclusions. So, see, any product you can market it, anything you can market. Even if you give me a pen to market it, I can market it. So how PR campaigns work, if we are involving a celebrity also comes with certain endorsement value. Then if you are involving influencers, if you are involving certain publications, so let's say some publications, so we have network with those publications, right? But if you want that publication to put the particular article in on certain date, which is finalized for the campaign to carry out, then it also includes the publication value. So it all depends on different factors. And then agency value, then other values that are to be added, like travel values, like that. So that's how we create marketing budgets. And in the budget may, like in this budget, this much would go. And it also depends. First, the brands also set their own KPX, OPX indexes, where this much amount should go definitely for marketing, and this much should go for anything else, if the budget is extending or not. So they give us the budgets, like, okay, this much is the budget, so what can we do? Then according in that budget we need to adjust it, and if it is going overboard or underboard, then we need to inform it to them.
Yeah. So okay, moving on to the next topic. I mean, we plan to discuss about things such as business ethics and work culture as well. So yeah, tell me about what your company culture is. What are your you know core values of your company, like ASTT? What's it about?
So, as the company name is a story to tell, we not just nurture and understand our brand stories, we also understand our internal stories, because we all come with a certain story and we all want to grow, because ASTT is just, let's say, 9 months old, right? It's a small baby right now. But if we want to grow it into a very expansive company, so we need to cater to our own stories, because if we are relating to something, it should be of a certain value and certain understanding, like if we are standing up for that value or not. If we are not standing up for that particular value, then we would not want to go for it. And internal culture is something very I prefer to be at the top of it, because when I was working with companies, when I was working with agencies, let's say, I faced a lot of things in terms of paycheck, in terms of understanding, appreciation, increments and reimbursements, small things. It really takes a toll on one employee, because they also have to cater to 10 different things after that, right? So I make sure the
Yeah.
paychecks are to be cleared. I make sure that my employees are to be understood, first of all, because if they're not motivated enough to work for one brand, for a client that you are catering to, or even motivated enough to work for my company, then it becomes a bit uncomfortable to even communicate inside the company. So communication and comprehension also plays a very vital role, because one thing that I live by is your employees are not your family. They're not your family, they are a team, and we are building a business. So if you put in a lot of emotional, if you invest emotionally a lot in your employees, then it becomes very difficult to say no when they ask for something. And then if you when you say no, if you're emotionally invested, and they feel like both of you guys are emotionally invested, and when you say no for a certain thing, they would expect a lot from you, and they would get disappointed, and it
Yeah.
would lose motivation. So your team is not your family, it's your team, it's your something that you're building together with. And there would be
Yeah.
disagreements, there would be a lot of clashes between you guys, but after all, you are a team, and there has to be a certain table that you guys are sitting at, a certain agreement that
Yeah.
okay, so if I am saying certain thing is to be understood by all of the employees, it is to be understood by the team and to be carried out in certain way, it has to be. And
Hmm.
if an employee is not agreeing to certain thing, of course they come to me and tell me, okay, this is something that I'm not agreeing to, can we work on it together?
Yeah.
And one thing that I totally believe in is that your team should look up to you, because
Okay.
of course you are a team, of course you're a team, you're working together, and they might also start expecting a lot of things, but they should look up to you. So I have this one employee, so I trained her from start, where she was like nothing, like she did not know anything about PR. So the thing is, the willingness to learn is also very important. And when she
Yeah.
came like onboarded with me, like when I was starting my company, she told me, Sakshi, I don't need anything. I just need an experience where I can learn, and that's what made me, onboard her, because I can onboard somebody so like experienced as well. But why did I onboard her? And she is doing a fabulous job right now. She has gotten promoted in 9 months to manager role. So she is managing my clients, she's managing internal communications, she's managing internal everything. So from nothing to something, it also depends that it is very vital and very valuable to have a leader, just your employees are looking up to you, and they're trying to learn different things from you. And learning is very important internally. If you're not learning, and if you're just settled at one place, like, okay, I know this of PR, I know this connection, I have this many connections, but this is not going to help for you in the long run. If you're not learning, you're not evolving, you're not growing also. And I would not personally entertain such type of behavior where my employee is not learning or growing, where he or she is settled and doing just one thing and not growing at all, or not trying to do anything more. So this is the team I prefer. Like, if you have a team who is as powerful, learners, who has a human connect also, is not just like, behind the cheese like in a rat race. I have employees who want to become an entrepreneur, who are just here to learn, but because the driving force in them, the passion in them is there, ki, okay, I want to do this, do that. So that's what makes a great team. So when I am on a vacation, my team runs itself. So it's like that. I don't have to put in a lot of investment in terms of micromanagement. So I never micromanaged though, and I never did. But I there has never come a point where I have to micromanage. So whenever I'm on a vacation or a weekend or out for a meeting, my team manages itself and it operates on its own. So even if I want, suppose, let's say I want to take a long vacation for 1 month or two, I don't have to look onto my phone at all. Just sometimes one or two calls I can get from my manager. I can talk to my manager every day, every morning, let's say. So that is something that you have to build. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you need not have to. So there is this thing, and I think it's something like a traditional thing where if you're an entrepreneur, you have to work to build, but you're building for what? You're working 24/7, you're losing your sleep, you're not even working on your health, you're not even eating the right food, you are just you know behind that work and keep on doing that work, and you're not getting anything for yourself in return. And when you're laying back, your team is totally dependent on you because you're the leader, right? But is that what you want to cater to, or is the luxury of life that you want to cater to? Because certainly you will have a lot of money, but when on the long run you're constantly working, you don't have time for your friends, you don't have time for your family. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's absolutely. I mean, that's a trade-off that people have to make eventually. Like sometimes, in life, and yeah, it's completely understandable in that case. So yeah, I mean, uh, how have your team or any like PR team that you have that someone else has been involved in handle like PR mishaps in general? What has been a strategy that you have normally noticed within people who have committed such things?
Um, so I mean, it's a very difficult thing to manage sometimes. Honestly, it takes a toll on your head. But it's very easy. Also, one press release, you send it across the journalist. So the thing with us is something that is very negative or any mishap that has happened. So it takes at least, let's say, 7 to 14 days to settle. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. Just sit back and take the popcorn and see what is happening.
Yeah.
So sometimes no comment is the best comment. That's what we believe in. Something is happening, no comment. It's okay. Because
Uh,
people are going to talk about you no matter what. Even if you say something, people are going to talk about you.
yeah.
And it should not take a negative tone, because if it is
Yeah.
already negative, and if you're saying something, people will try to take out 10 different negative things out of it. Okay, she said this, she said that. You know,
Yeah.
so it will create more confusion, and it might negate your impression or reputation in the market. And sometimes saying might create a lot of buzz also, but you don't want that
Yeah.
negative buzz, because we cater to luxury, and luxury is something that is seen up to.
Oh, yeah. So okay, how true or false is the phrase like no publicity is bad publicity? Like, do you believe in that phrase, or is it something which is a myth?
Publicity happens anyways. Even if you don't do any publicity, is going to happen if you are very desirable, and if you are, like, let's say, a celebrity. Sometimes you spot a celebrity at an airport. People are very busy. They'll be like, but there are few people who will be like, okay, let me take a picture with them. Let me see. Let's say now, I think the Grand Ambani wedding is happening, right? So
Okay.
we are all loving it. Riyan just performed, and she performed this particular song called as it's called as "Bitch Better Have My Money." So
Okay.
so some people are saying, "Oh, she has the audacity to say this in the Ambani wedding." But yeah, I mean, we all are loving, how beautiful the couple are looking, and this is a positive publicity. and they are trying to cater to a welfare also. They are like, okay, I think there was this one comment where Radhika, she said like there are so many people today. 4 years before there were like no people, it was just us. So that also, that one simple sentence is like, okay, they have been there since a long time, and they have not
Hmm.
been publicly talking about it, doing animal welfare and all of that. But because they are hosting this grand wedding there, it got the publicity.
Yeah.
So I mean, sometimes no publicity is also the best publicity. Sometimes you just have to keep your mouth shut and let the people think about you and create the buzz within themselves, and then you talk.
Okay. So, what is the role between authenticity and PR? What is the connection between those two things, in your opinion?
PR is authentic. So I personally believe, because I also run a PR firm, and we are something that we would not spread negative things. Like, there are a lot of things that are negative. So that comes in our company culture is like, if something is wrong, and we should not cater to it no matter what. If it is not making us money, it's okay, but we should not cater to it. So PR has to be authentic. Like, if you are a person, if you are a real person, just imagine. Let me give you one scenario. There are two people. One person is just being a typical celebrity, just like talking, talking, talking. Second person is just like a very nice celebrity, but a real person who you could relate to as a normal person, and who is authentic, who is very real, who dresses simply or like however they want to be. So, who would you like? Something who is just talking materialistically, or somebody who is just talking like unreal things which you cannot relate to, or somebody who is a real person who understands the audiences, what they are going through.
Yeah. Obviously, someone who is like more real. Obviously, you want to be able to relate to people. Obviously, that's how it works
Hmm.
in any walk of life in general. Like it just feels good when you're talking to people who feel the real, rather than someone like where there's a huge disconnect between what they want to portray and who they are, and it can be jarring also sometimes. I feel.
Exactly. So
So yeah,
you need to be super real, and but, like, I feel like so because we cater to brands, specifically brands, if so we need to think about the identity, this character sketch of the brand. We need to look into the ethos, the history of the brand. So if that brand is not real in front of the audience, and if they're not open about what they actually stand for, how would the audience cater to it, and how would they, sell their products? You can't set out unrealistic things.
yeah,
Like, of course, I mean, because we cater to luxury brands, now you'll ask me, so how are luxury brands real? There are people who can relate to those brands and who are buying from them.
yeah.
So that is their form of real.
Okay, that's true. So final question: what's next for you, Sakshi, with ASTT and life in general?
Hmm. I think I'm going to live my best life, and with ESTT. So when I started ESTD, so how the name was formed, let me just tell you. I personally feel like we all are people. We all have our battles, unspoken battles that we have. Like, for me, it was because I was in a room full of people, full of entrepreneurs, where nobody knew me. Now, like, when
Yeah.
I walk into the same room, everybody knows me. But
Hmm.
that time nobody knew me, and the kind of battles that I used to have, like, well, any battle, it can be anything in your personal life, in your professional life. We all are fighting for something, and we all
Yeah.
want to get somewhere. And let's say, for some people, dreams can be just to buy a house. For some
Hmm.
people, it can be to buy a car, sometimes to just to make their parents happy, such dreams. And we are
Yeah.
fighting to reach till there. So we all have stories. We are all come from certain backgrounds. Maybe our stories can be when like during school time, you might not have had the best time in your school, or maybe you might have had the best time in your college. But not in like maybe you might have struggled in between, or it is not just obviously correlating to struggle always, but you have a story, right? Like I have this dream and I want to get there, and how I'm getting there, it's my journey. We all have that,
Yes.
and we want. So I personally wanted a platform I could talk to, just to be on that stage where I can openly talk about my journey. And I am building that to actually one day when I'll have that stage where I can share my life story, where I can share my journey, where I can share my
Yes.
story and inspire younger audience to that ki no matter what happens in your life, one thing is you should not give up no matter what. So,
Yeah.
what is your driving passion? What are your stories? Then there are lots of people who have their stories. Same related to brands. I personally believe that every brand has a story. I personally believe that like a brand is like a small baby, let's say. When a brand comes to me as a brand manager, I prefer to tell that okay, this brand is a small baby. I need to nurture it in such a way, give a lot of care, give a lot of love, so in that brand does not fall off the track. Because let's see, if we tell that particular let's say a baby, we tell that baby that okay, you are bad, you're this, you're that, we say a lot of words, so that baby would get disturbed, right? And it would go miserable everywhere. But if you tell that baby, okay, this is a plan for you, this is how you should push yourself, and this, don't worry, we are there behind you, no matter what happens, we are there to push you, we are there to support you, we are there to plan for you if you have anything. If you want to achieve something, we are there to support you, to push you ahead, to give you strategies, to give you this, that, so you don't fall off track. And if that brand is falling off track, we will take care of you. So that was the initial thought when I thought, okay, let me put it in this way, a story to tell, because every person has a story, every brand has a story.
Yeah.
So for the future of ESTT, I want to expand onto the global platforms. I want to have a portfolio of global brands where where I can reach and multiply my network and even help that brand not to fall off track. So this is
Yeah.
something that I want for ASTT, and I am sure to build ASTT stories and to have a platform to even showcase ASTT stories. There's a
Yeah.
long way to go, but this is something that I'm really looking forward to expand my portfolio.
Yeah, that's great. That's absolutely great. So, anyway, that draws things nicely to a close. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for coming onto the show. I really appreciate it. And yeah,
Not for
any final
inviting me.
thoughts? You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for watching the show. See you soon.
Thank you.